Building confidence in ourselves and our views can make it easier to contribute. Learning how to look at information more critically helps us spot untruths and harmful narratives and stops us oversimplifying issues. Understanding our emotions and learning to empathize with others can prevent what we feel from being a barrier to meaningful conversation. Respecting and accepting difference helps us see that not everyone has to agree in order to discuss something or learn something new. Practicing open-mindedness and flexibility can help prevent us from falling into unhelpful camps around a particular issue and missing the bigger picture. Some issues become controversial and they can become difficult to talk about. However, there are certain skills we can develop to help us engage positively and constructively.
Okay. Probably you didn't quite pay attention because I was giving interest to different type of to your classmates. So basically, they say that a controversial issue tends to be controversial because we are in this world. We come from different backgrounds, we come from different cities, we come from different countries. That means that we have different traditions, different customs, and every country has their own taboos. But what really makes an issue controversial is because not the issue, is because the way we talked, the way we say words. So, in order to respect your point of view, my point of view, and not try to get into a fight, you're supposed to be confident in what you're saying. Critical thinking is not just criticize a person. Critical thinking means that you have to analyze the whole context of a situation, and then if someone asks for your opinion, you give it. What happened is that some people, they give their point of view, and most of the people, they are not asking what you think. If they ask you, you answer. If not, it's okay. Respecting and accepting differences, everyone is different, so you're supposed to accept. Well, not really accept because that takes time, but at least respecting the differences. You're different, I'm different. Probably it's a kind of process that I have to have in order to accept something. And probably I will never accept that, but I respect what you think, what you believe, what you are. Being an open-minded and flexible. Being open-minded and flexible, of course, you already know. You're supposed to be willing to see different cultures, different people. And that's why they say that the only way that you can be open-minded, flexible, and accept differences is through education. And probably sometimes education makes people think different because they really understand the context or all the problems that we've been having. Okay. And to be very tolerant. Okay. Do you think that in Guatemala people are tolerant?
No.
Are we tolerant? Are we patient?
No.
No. Okay. So I will show you the different types of the topic that we're supposed to talk. And the topic it's about controversial issues, and we have a lot of them. Every society has their own controversial issues. Some of them are very different from others, but we have them. I tried to write some of the controversial issues around the world. Probably I didn't make them local, but global. Okay, so Muslim immigrants. That is another topic. Border wall. ¿Se recuerdan del famoso muro de este señor, cómo se llamaba? Donald Trump. Yes. Okay. Oil drilling. When you drill, okay. The ocean, because obviously you want to take some oil. Obamacare, when Obama was the president of the United States, obviously he promoted a lot of changes in health system, and some of the changes that they were made, they have their names, Obamacare. And that is very common that when another president comes, he has certain type of ideas how to rule the country. And some of the programs that they were meant to be for certain type of people in the time where the other president was the president, obviously you have a chance to decide whether they continue or not. Okay. Gun control. Okay. That is a very common and controversial issue that they've been happening in the United States, not also United States, but also in Guatemala. Torture. They torture people in order to get what they want, even though they are military, even though they belong to a certain group of the country. Okay, torture is very common, not necessarily because you want to have something for good, but also something for bad. Gay marriage and adoption right. Since we are in Guatemala, we believe that we have two type of marriage. If you are a man, you marry with a what?
A woman.
If you are a woman, you marry to a
Man.
man in Guatemala. Okay, but there are different type of preferences that you need to respect. So there are women that like women, there are men that like men, there are women that like men and women, there are women that they don't feel comfortable with their bodies and they believe that inside there were men, so they try to change their gender and to become a transgender. So there is a lot of people that they are not comfortable with skin, and they have the right, whether or not to change to the way they want to be or not to change. Okay. And basically, in the adoption rights, is it legal in Guatemala to adopt a boy or a girl? Is it legal? Do we have the adoption system here? Yes, exists. I want to adopt a boy, I want to adopt a girl. Of course, we have it. But the controversial issue here is that our society recognizes in order to adopt a kid or a kid, it's the adoption will be held by a woman and by a man. But what happens if I'm married with another woman? Do I have the same right to adopt? That is the controversial thing. Okay. Now, what do you think about all these topics? Are they controversial? Are they controversial? Yes.
I think in Guatemala are more conservative, but we are more tolerant. In the United States are more liberal, but they don't tolerate immigrants. They don't have gun control.
Mm-hmm.
They can buy guns everywhere, and they can use it everywhere
Because of the same liberal that they are.
But they don't tolerate immigrants, and they are more liberal.
Mm-hmm. Yes, you're right. Okay. Now there are a lot of topics that are controversial, and the first topic that the book is presenting you, that matches exactly with the time in which we are. On June 25th, you have to go and vote for our next president. Okay. I don't know if you have already decided if you are going to vote or not. Are you going to vote? You? Yes? Or
Yes.
no? Yes. Okay. Probably most of the people, they want to vote, but they don't have like the right choice to vote for. Do you already know who are you going to vote for? Or you haven't decided?
We don't have options, but we have to vote.
Probably that's one point of view. We don't have all options, but for any of the options that we have, probably we have to choose the best or not even the best, but at least not the worst. Okay? But I don't know. Okay? Now, how political literally are you? So they're talking about the first, they say that in Guatemala, we don't talk about religion, politics, and sex. Yes? Those are controversial issues that we don't talk. It's very difficult because they tend to create certain type of misunderstanding between people. Now, how literally you are, so how much you know about politics. And it says choose the correct term for each definition. Then we look at the answers. Now, a group of people who govern a country or a state, it is named a government or a constitution. What do you think?
A government.
A government. Okay. The art or science of govern or governing, that is a constitution or that is called politics. A constitution or politics?
Politics.
Okay. A set of basic laws and principles that a country is governed by, which cannot easily be changed by political party in power, a constitution or a democracy.
Constitution.
Okay.
Constitution.
An occasion when people vote to choose someone for an official position, a government or an election.
Election.
An election. Okay. Show by marking a paper using a machine, etc., which person you want in a government position. That means govern or that means vote. By marking a paper or using a machine. That's what we're going to do next, I don't know, in probably 10, 15 days.
Vote.
Vote. Yes. Lead or take part in a series of actions intended to win an election for a government position. So what are you doing? Campaign or vote? Okay. A system of government in which every citizen in the country can vote to elect its government officials. A monarchy or a democracy?
A democracy?
A democracy. Okay. A system in which a country is ruled by a king or a queen. A dictatorship or a monarchy?
Monarchy.
In Guatemala, do we have a king or a queen?
No.
No. Where are which countries around the world they have a king and a queen?
In
England? Spain? Canada? Okay. Now, number 9. Government by a ruler who has complete power. A democracy or a dictatorship?
Dictatorship.
Dictatorship. In nowadays, in Central America, there are a lot of people that believe that there are 2 countries that are dictated by dictatorship. Which are the 2 countries that you believe that they have dictatorship? They have a dictator. They don't have a president.
Nicaragua.
And?
Cuba.
Cuba, another one. But in Central America, some people believe that El Salvador is becoming like that. Do you think that? Is it true?
Yes.
Maybe.
Maybe. Okay. A country ruled by a king or a queen whose power is limited by a constitution, a dictatorship, or a constitutional monarchy.
Constitutional monarchy.
Okay. Very good. All of them are right. You can see the answers here. Obviously, those are background. Okay. Okay. Upside down, sorry. Okay. But yes, they were right. Okay. So that is your how much you know about politics. Okay. Now, have you decided yet to vote? Have you decided which one to vote for? No?
No.
You're still thinking. You're still analyzing the options. Okay. Would you like to have a woman as a president? I'm not asking who. I'm just saying, would you like to have a woman as a president? No?
I think not.
No. Okay. I'm not saying that you're right or no. I just want to know your opinion. If you would like to have in Guatemala a president woman.
Yes.
Okay. That was only my question. I'm not saying that you're gonna vote for this or that. No. Of course. Yeah, it could be nice. Nice probably is not the right word, but it would be good to have a woman because we have always had men. So let's give a chance to a woman. Yes, it will be good. I don't know if the candidates are well prepared or no. That will be another thing, but it will be nice. In all around the world, it would be nice that men and women they have the same opportunity to run for a president or for a queen or a queen, whatever you want. Yes, there was someone speaking. Pablo, no? It was Pablo? No? Okay. Now it says vocabulary, political terminology. Listen and listen again. So this is what we have. Look at this.
Read and listen.
A government.
Campaign.
Politics.
A democracy.
A constitution.
A monarchy.
An election.
A dictatorship.
Vote.
A constitutional monarchy.
Okay,
Now
that is the type of vocabulary that we're going to be using. Now let's stop here and move to this one. This is what we have. Okay. Now, do you get the idea of all the vocabulary, the political terminology that probably we're going to use, not during the whole unit, but you get the idea? Yes, of the vocabulary? Yes?
Yes.
Okay. Now, drag the words to the correct categories. So we have type of governments, global problems, and political beliefs. Do you get the difference between the three categories? Type of governments, you already know. So we have a democracy, a dictatorship, global problems. Global problems would be the global warming. Global warming could be pollution. And political beliefs. ¿Han escuchado eso si usted es de la derecha o de la izquierda? Yes?
Yes.
If you
Yes.
are now, if you are radical, if you are conservative, if you are liberal, okay? So which one will you choose? In type of government, which one would you choose? Types of government. Which one will you choose?
Maybe monarchy?
Monarchy? Uh-huh. What else?
Dictator?
Dictatorship? Okay. What about global problems?
Corruption.
Corruption? Uh-huh.
Poverty.
Poverty? Yes.
Discrimination.
Discrimination? Okay. Political beliefs. What are my beliefs? If I think in this way, they have an adjective. I become radical. If my beliefs are very conservative, I become a conservative. If my probably my beliefs are like more in a balance. I'm not too liberal, I'm not too conservative. I could be moderate. Okay, those are the type of political beliefs that we have. So those are the answers. Yes, type of governments, dictatorship, democracy, and monarchy. We have discrimination, poverty, and corruptions. They're global problems. And political beliefs is when you are moderate, radical, or reactionary. Don't worry. All these type of topics, we're going to talk about them during the unit, okay? So let's go for the book. And obviously, the book is presenting you a topic like this. It's a conversation. And they are saying, they are giving you certain type of words, phrases. They come from different countries. They come from different, probably they come from, yes, they come from different countries. And when you don't know how to, you are, for example, you are talking to another person. And when you want to ask something, but for you, it's not personal. For you in your country, it's very common that you talk about this. But since you are in another country, you're supposed to ask in advance. Can I ask you a question? I don't know if it's too personal here, or I don't know if I can ask you this type of questions. So this is a conversation like that, okay? Look at this one. Okay.
Read and listen to a conversation about discussing politics.
What a coincidence! I was just thinking about calling you. It's been such a long time.
It sure has. Let's sit down and catch up. What are you up to these days?
Busy, busy. The office has been crazy with the election coming up next month. You can imagine.
But I'll bet working at a TV station is exciting. Hey, Paul, do you mind if I ask you a political question? I hope it's not inappropriate. I am not sure it's polite to ask about politics here in the U.S.
That's funny. They always say not to talk about religion or politics, but everyone does. Shoot.
Okay. Who are you planning to vote for in the election?
Well, because we're friends, I'll answer. But I should warn you that it might not be a good idea to ask just anyone that question. Some people might find it a little personal.
Oops.
No worries. Actually, I haven't made up my mind. I'm leaning towards Clancy, though. I think he's better than the other guy.
Okay. That conversation matches exactly with the one that we live in right now. So, election, that is the word. Now, do they come from the same country? No.
No.
Was a polite conversation? Was a respectful and polite conversation? Yes, it was a very polite conversation. There are two friends, and one was asking questions about the custom in the country, and the other was saying, because we're friends, I will answer you. But if you ask in general, people will believe that these type of questions are a little bit too personal. Okay, so at the end, one is educating the other one. What are the right questions to ask or how to ask? Now, what is the, do they know for a very long time? What do you think?
Yeah.
Yes, because the other one says because we're friends. I ask you. Okay, so who works in television? Carlo or Paul?
Paul?
Paul, okay? It says, so what a coincidence. It was just thinking about calling you. It's been such a long time. It surely has. Okay, let's sit down and catch up. Catch up means, so tell me what you've been doing. What are you up to this day? So what are you doing this day? That's another phrase that is very common. I've been busy, busy, busy. The office has been driving me crazy. And the election, sorry, is coming. So probably it says, but working in a TV station is exciting. Probably, I don't know, he's a reporter. I don't know, he's a presenter. We don't know. And now when he asks in a polite way, it says, do you mind if I ask you a political question? I hope it's not inappropriate. I'm not sure if it's polite to ask about politics here in the United States. That's funny. They always say there are two topics that we don't talk about. In general, everybody knows that not people like to talk about politics and no one likes to talk about religion, because at the end, everyone starts fighting because of the topics. But it's okay. Should is okay. Yeah. Tirámela. O sea, tirámela means the question. Okay. So, okay. Who are you planning to vote for in the election? Well, because we are friends, I'll answer, but I should warn you. Warn you means that I should have to tell you that it might not be a good idea just ask this type of question. Some people might find a little personal. Okay. Oops, it says, but no worry. Actually, I haven't on my mind. I haven't decided which one to vote. I'm leaning toward Clancy. Clancy is a candidate, the name of a candidate. Though I think he's better than the other candidate. Okay, so we have two. So if you realize you're not saying bad things about one candidate, we're not saying bad things about the other candidate, you're not being disrespectful. So if you don't want to say directly who are you going to vote for, because the vote is, what is the word that most of the time you listen? The vote is
Secret.
secret, obviously. If you haven't decided who you're going to vote for, why am I had to tell you my election or the decision that I took to vote for? Okay. But in this case, because they're a friend, it says Clancy, it's better. He has better option. So he believes in that. Okay. Any questions so far about the conversation? Did you get the idea of the whole conversation? Yes?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, who wants to try? Who wants to try the conversation? Two volunteers. Come on, guys. I know it's long. Roxana. Thank you, Roxana. Roxana and another volunteer. Okay. Roxana and Priscilla. Thank you. Okay, Roxana, you start.
What a coincidence. I was just thinking about calling you. It's been such a long time.
It sure has. Let's sit down and catch up. What are you up to these days?
Busy, busy. The office has been crazy with the election coming up next month. You can imagine. Imagine.
But I'll be working at... Lo siento, es que voy a conectar mi computadora.
Okay, don't worry.
But I bet working at TV station is exciting. Hey, Paul, do you mind if I ask you a political question? I hope it's not inappropriate, but I'm not sure it's polite to ask about politics here in the United States.
That's funny. They always say not to talk about religion or politics, but everyone does, should.
Okay, who are you planning to vote for in the election?
Well, because we're friends, I'll answer. But I should warn you that it might not be a good idea to ask just anyone that question. Some people might find a little personal.
Oops.
No worries. Actually, I haven't made up my mind. I'm leaning toward Clancy, though. I think he's better than other guy. Sorry.
Okay, very good. Very good, girls. Now, the last paragraph, it says, no worries. Actually, I haven't made up my mind. I'm leaning toward clumsy. Leaning es, me estoy inclinando, ok. Un poquito me estoy decidiendo por clumsy. But at the end, have exactly the same meaning. What
Maybe
are
what have you done?
What have you done? Very good. How have you been? Yes. Some people might find it a little personal. Some people might find it a little personal. How do you feel when someone asks you a personal question and you don't know the person? How do you feel?
Bad.
Incómodo, hasta cierto punto ofendido y hasta cierto grado no al lugar la pregunta. ¿Sí? ¿Así se han sentido? When someone asks you something? Yes?
Yes.
Okay, so it would be like a kind of offensive. Okay, some people might think a little too personal. That thing that some people might think a little offensive. This type of question. Okay, that's why when you go, I don't know, to any place, someone might ask you. It is a kind of invasive or offensive questions for you, probably. But I will have to ask this type of questions. Okay, so number 4, no worries. That is a very common expression that American people use. Don't worry. Another expression that you might use instead of no worry.
Don't problem.
Okay, there's no problem. Very good. Actually, I haven't on my mind. Actually, I haven't made up my mind. When someone says, I haven't made up my mind, is because the person has a decision or the person doesn't have a decision.
Doesn't have a decision.
Okay, so you can say, I haven't decided. Okay. I'm leaning toward clumsy. Leaning. Cuando usted no ha tomado todavía una decisión, usted la está ¿qué? Pensando, analizando, ¿qué más? Considerando, tomándola en cuenta. That would be leaning. Okay, so another phrase that we use is I'm considering, I'm thinking. Okay, those are some words that you might use. Okay, now we're going to stop here. And let's go for it. It's not a controversial issue that I found, but it's like a myth. Okay. Now, if I ask you, all of you come from Guatemala, yes? Do I have people? All of you are from Guatemala, yes? Or do I have Mexicans? Or do I have, yes, all of you are Guatemalan, yes?
Yes.
Okay. So we assume that all of you are from Guatemala, okay? So there is a myth that a lot of people, they want to go to United States and work and live there and stay there. That is a myth. Is it true or is not true? What do you think? That is another controversial issue that we're going to talk about. Everyone wants to immigrate to another country. Is it true? That people are looking for more opportunities, a different world, a different environment, a different thing in order to have a better future? Is it true?
Yes.
Okay, if you had a chance to live in another country, would you live? Would you move and live to the other country?
Yes.
Okay, yes. So I found a very short video that talks about Latin American myths. There are some of the myths that probably people that know Latin American people, they believe. And that is a controversial issue. Why? Because people that are from other countries, other continents, they have like a certain type of perspective for a country. When you have the same perspective of United States from Spain, from France, from Venezuela, they have it in the same way that you do. Okay, so I found this type of myth. This is half English, half Spanish, the video. Okay, look at this one.
I'm Latin American and I don't want to move to the States. I want to stay here. I want to live here in Colombia, in Medellín, my city.
Yo soy de América Latina y somos un país desarrollado. Contamos con tranvía, metrocable, metroclub. Ya no estamos en la época anterior, que había que andar en burro, X.
I'm Latin American and I'm not part of the gang. This city is art, culture, music. You can walk around in the downtown. It's not like a war.
Hola, soy de Latinoamérica y no somos una sola cultura, somos muchas culturas. En México hay comidas distintas, hablan totalmente distinto, nosotros los venezolanos somos más chistosos que ellos.
Yo soy latinoamericano y no vendo droga, vendo orgullosamente flores. Las cosas bonitas de Colombia que no es solamente droga, donde solamente respiramos alegría, libertad.
I'm from Latin America and I think music here is way more diverse than Shakira and Ricky Martin. Different rhythms, different cultures and different ways of understanding the world that go way beyond thinking that Latin America is one single region who thinks the same, sees the world the same way.
Soy latinoamericano y nuestra cocina es mucho más que la cocina Tex-Mex. Somos más que burritos, que tacos, que flautas. Tenemos muchos ingredientes en América Latina para darle a conocer al mundo.
My name is Susana and I'm a global citizen.
Y yo soy global citizen.
And I'm a global citizen.
Okay. That was the topic about. Is it true? Is that a myth? Do you think that it's a myth that most of the Latin people, they want to move to the United States?
Yes.
Or is a reality?
For me, it's a myth.
Okay, for you it's a myth. Another one? No?
Please repeat the question, please.
Is it a myth that most of the Guatemalan, Latin American people, they want to move to the United States and work and have an education because it's a better country than Latin American countries? Is it true?
Well, for example, about your myth, it's about one culture is fake.
Okay, so it will be fake. Yeah, that will you say that it is fake?
Other things, the only whole food, it's the burrito or chilaquiles, for example. Other things, tamales. No, it's the different cultures and different language.
Okay. Yeah, I got your point. Yes. We tend to have, even though all Latin American people, they speak the same language, there is Spanish, they have different accents, they have different type of food. Not all Latin American people, they eat tamales. There are people that they don't eat tamales.
Exactly.
That's what you were saying. Okay. Yes, I got the point. Thank you, Daniel. Okay, so let's go for some of the top 10 debates topics. There are a lot of topics. I will show you some of them. And day by day, we're going to, during the unit that we're going to talk about, we're going to try to talk from one or two topics, what you think, what you believe. So what was the first one? What was the first one?
Animal testing.
People, they do not agree. Think that animals is not what they think. They say that animals are obviously where they're not comparing to people, but they feel they are things that are alive and they need to be protected. As you protect people, you protect animals. It doesn't matter the type of animal. I know that which are the most common animals that we have as pet? Dogs and cats. Yes, those are like the most two common type of animals that most of the people around the world they have it. But there are pigs. There's another. There are rabbits. We have what? Mice. Yes. Have you heard
Yes.
that there's a lot of people that have like a pet like mice? But in this case, they're testing. Is it okay to test drugs in animals? You will say yes, and some other will say no.
No.
Okay. The second one was is the death penalty appropriate in Guatemala? Do we have death penalty?
No.
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 ¿No tenemos la pena de muerte en Guatemala?
No.
No.
Okay. Now it says, or should it be banned? Ban, it means removed it. So in Guatemala, we don't have it, but there's a lot of people that would like to have this one. They think that the only way to stop something from happening is to kill the person or the action that was committed by a person. And that makes it appropriate. Okay? When you kill something, that means that it won't happen again. They won't do it again. In the United States, yes, in some states, it is legal, the death penalty. Do you agree or disagree with that? I won't ask you why.
I agree.
Why? Okay, so you agree.
Me too.
Okay. Another one? Probably some of you will say no. Okay, but it's okay. Okay. Do schools' uniforms make a school a more effective place to learn? When you went to high school, when you went to kindergarten, you're supposed to wear a uniform. Yes? It's our culture in Guatemala to wear a uniform, or no?
Yes.
Yes. Now,
It's
do
a
you
culture.
agree? Do you agree or disagree of wearing a uniform when you go to school?
Disagree.
Okay,
I
Pablo said
agree.
no. Okay. What could be the advantages and disadvantages?
Maybe to identify the
Okay. The advantages is that you can show your identity. Yes? You can express your identity by dressing in the way you like. Obviously, when you dress, you're expressing your identity. You're expressing your point of view. You're saying, this is who I am. This is the way I dress. This is who I am. Because I like this, this, or that. Okay, Pablo. Yes, I got the point. Another one? The uniform?